You guys, welcome to your week. It is an all-new week, and we're celebrating on So Bad It's Good with a pop culture roundup. You know her, you love her, a pop culture connoisseur, a writer. I mean, you could say so many things, obviously. I was actually just reading her Substack this morning, and I was crying. I want to actually ask her a couple questions because I was cracking up. But you guys got to check out her Substack because I look forward to it every week now. The one, the only, from the podcast So True with Sophie Ross. Sophie Ross, welcome back to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
I was, you guys. So I get the Substack, and the title of it is "Who Told Nick Viall He's Qualified to Give Relationship Advice for a Living." Now, I don't want to blow Nick Viall up too much because we do talk about him a little bit, but I didn't realize he has a book coming out about like don't text your ex happy birthday is the title of the book.
Yep, it's called "Don't Text Your Ex Happy Birthday," and it's amazing. Like dating advice. It's like he's in modern day, he's just not that into you. It's like I just don't understand what authority Nick Viall like why is he
because he was on The Bachelor. That's authority,
right? He failed every single time.
Yeah,
and now
he has
he's
abs.
23-year-old. Like I can't with him. And then New York Times, actually that piece.
Yeah, wait. You got in the article in the Substack, you said New York Times did an article on it. It was like a puff piece, almost like a paid for advertisement. What did you mean by that?
It was like pure PR. It was pure PR. But at the same time, I feel like the writer who wrote the story, like low key hated him. Like there were all of these like random like digs in there that were like funny. So go read that article, I guess. And he says that he's been compared to Ryan Reynolds so many times in his life. Like, excuse me? Who?
He's like, in my mind, I've compared myself to Ryan Reynolds so many times.
Yeah, it's like he's the only one who's compared.
To Ryan. I will tell you though, like he was at the acting studio that I worked at, and I've said this before, but I just really he didn't get like the best, glowing acting reviews. I think he's still, but a lot of these people, they go on The Bachelor and then they think they can act, or they have all of a sudden all these opportunities, you guys. And he was, these people put work in, like they show up to class and rehearse and stuff, but sometimes people just don't have it. And I think Nick Viall was probably actually better than most of the Bachelor contestants, but all of a sudden they get to audition for like pilots and TV episodes. And one time I did sell Nick Viall a tear stick, which is the menthol stuff you can put under your eyes and it'll start the tear ducts. And it's like an actor's trick. So in an audition, you can put that. And I remember, and I was like, what audition does Nick Viall have to cry in? Or is he doing that in his real life? Like for women, like he's like,
manipulating women.
Please sleep with me.
Remember that TikTok? And I linked this in my Substack, but the TikTok where he's like, let's play a game of, does he actually like you or not? And it was like, he was like,
that's a great. By the way, I didn't know you did character voices this whole time.
Oh. I know. Oh, I'm such a good impersonator. But he was like, he takes you on vacation. He doesn't. You're not his girlfriend. He just likes having sex with someone. It's always more fun to have sex with someone on vacation. Like, shut up, man. I know we like have ranted about him before, like the same rant, but like,
he's fun to rant about though. I mean, like he's fun.
Oh my God. And someone like replied to my tweet with the article. They were like, who hurt you? Like, I feel like people think that it really is like my hatred for him is like so intense. It's because it is. Like I find him.
I thought you were going to say it's not. It's just he's fun to write about, but you're actually your hatred is intense.
Like I actually despise him. I find him so triggering. And like, I know that it's like irrational at times.
Is it because you said in your article, is it because the fuckboys that used to try to get with you in
I just
New
feel
York?
like he plays into this culture of like making women feel stupid. It's like very misogynistic, his advice, while never denouncing like the kind of bad behavior that men, like the manipulation, like the fact that they're taking a girl on vacation and he's like, you're still not his girlfriend. It's like, wait, like, I don't know. He just like freaking pisses me off. Like, I just think that he's so cocky. He's so like condescending and patronizing, and it's like, what authority do you have? He has like the most inflated ego. I can't, it makes no sense. It's very irrational, I know, but like I just
Well,
find
you could say it's irrational, but there's actual reasoning. There is a type of man that does this kind of stuff, that actually participates in this behavior. And then, I mean, this is kind of like what I hate about influencer culture too, is that they participate in this behavior and then they try to make money off it by telling you how to avoid it. But you know, this person has continually done this kind of behavior again and again. And that's why he does know without a doubt, because he's usually speaking from personal experience. I do want to know if he met his young girlfriend at a game night though, like Dane and Kelsey that we talked about last week. Yeah, dang, remember, because they're the game nights. I want to know if like Nick Viall was at one of those game nights and like it just they're giving away 17-year-olds at these things.
I hate that I know this, but I think that she slid into his DMs, and then I think, and this is Nick Viall, not Dane Cook. She slid into his DMs, I guess, and they were like just like hooking up, and he was like, "No, I'm like not that into you." Like whatever. And then she started going on other dates. And then he was like, "No, I actually do want to be exclusive with you." It's like, he just like makes no sense. Like his advice, he's like, "No, that guy isn't that into you." And he did the same thing with his girlfriend, where he like what straight up wasn't into her for like 8 months or something, or acted like it, and then got jealous. And you know,
well, I was like, thinking the tactic that she potentially used, if she used it, and if Nick says it's a tactic down the line, is kind of, I was thinking about Shep and Taylor from Southern Charm.
Yep.
Taylor was on Watch What Happens Live on Thursday night after the new episode of Southern Charm, where they did a dog wedding. Congrats, Southern Charm. Is that she, you know, she admitted she was, you know, they are broken up and they did split up, and that she was the one that did it. And Andy even said, "Oh, you know, like who else would you like on Bravo?" And she said they went with like Tom Schwartz, which I think would be, you know, no way in hell of happening for so many reasons. Yeah. But I was wondering if this is, in your opinion, a tactic that she is being told to use of like, do the like, you know, so you can get him back eventually and start talking about dating, getting yourself out there. Is this an actual tactic, or is that complete bullshit?
I didn't watch What Happens Live or Southern Charm Live. I actually was just watching my recording of it because I was gone Thursday.
No, but just in terms of women in general, is that a tactic?
No, but did she, I mean, yeah, but like, I don't know if she's interested in getting him back, because what did she give the reasoning of like why she broke up with him? Was it because he didn't want to settle down?
Yeah, he's not ready for, I mean, which by the way, it's like he screams that he's not ready for that.
Right. Duh.
But I don't know. It just seemed like very weird, because I thought, you know, in a lot of these things, I'm like, well, why would, like, Southern Charm is such a weird show for me right now, because I'm like, well, why would Taylor come back without Shep to the show? Like, we don't know enough about Taylor even in the beginning.
I'm sorry, like, I'm wishing Taylor the best, but she has the personality of a piece of cardboard from what I've seen. And I know that's like me, and she seems like a nice enough girl, but not interesting enough to want to watch on reality TV. So like,
or maybe she realizes she's on TV and saves it, you know, for off camera.
There's Madison. She's not with Austin anymore, but she's so entertaining that like it makes sense for her. Like with Taylor, I'm like, she's not entertaining.
But Sophie, that almost might mean she's like an actual great person. Like if you're not entertaining on reality, is like she's what it means. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that means that she's definitely a better person than Madison. I do not think that Madison is a good person, but she's amazing in reality TV. Madison!
Oh, and did you see that? I can't help how my penis gets hard, Madison.
You're being crazy. You're acting like a crazy person right now.
Yes, there's 2 girls in my bed, Madison. Where do you want them to sleep? The floor? Where do you want me? I have back issues, Madison. Sorry. Okay. Also, real quick about Southern Charm is that the other girl, what's her name, that had like the couple dates with shithead
Olivia.
Austin? Olivia. Now Olivia says they are dating, and Olivia said now is against Madison and said Madison was texting even Austin like a couple weeks ago still. And I was like, wow, Austin really worked overtime to get this girl, to get Olivia. Olivia is another one that I can't really get. Like, I can't tell if she's entertaining or a little cardboardy too, but I'm just like, what an interesting thing, because in this week's episode, it gets brought up that from Paige, Oh, this is what I want. Paige, that Sierra was in town. What, if you were Paige, if this was your girlfriend, this is the situation that you saw Austin do at the summer house, would you ever then go, Austin, let me wave my friend back in your face like shark bait? Like, you want to go hook up with her again? Would you ever do that to your friend, seeing the pain that he caused in the first place?
No, absolutely not.
Yes.
No. Yeah, Paige is a shitty person. We've seen this. And I know people are like, I like Paige. Like, Paige does have a lot of detractors, but she also has people that are like, I like watching Paige. I'm like, she
People
sucks.
love Paige.
Oh my God, she's so annoying. And that also, like, the fact that she like didn't know how to dress for like Charleston weather at this outdoor wedding, and she was wearing this like tiny little like pink mini dress when everyone else was like in coats and like long pants. Like, what are you doing?
Sorry. Wait, moving on. I have nothing. I don't know if you're into this. I'm not yet. I don't know if it's worth getting into. And also it makes me feel super creepy as an old man. This band, we're at Bama Rush again now. I'm noticing on TikTok.
I haven't been keeping up with that.
Okay, good.
I know that's a thing.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I have no information on it. I just didn't know if you did, because I see it going all around TikTok and I'm like, wow, it's been a year since the last Bama Rush. And then I feel always weird. Did you watch Beverly Hills this week?
Yes, but I was like half paying attention because honestly, it's been so boring this season. I tweeted that and it was like randomly a controversial tweet.
Wait, what?
Like, it was like controversial that I tweeted. I was like, Beverly Hills is very boring this season. Like, I watch at my own leisure. Like, if I watch it all, which I always do, but I'll watch it later. I don't watch it live anymore like I used to. It used to be last season, it actually was like appointment television, where I felt like I was so excited to watch it every week. And now I'm just like, what am I even watching for? Like, I just like I don't know. So like, I can't even tell you exactly what happened because it was so boring.
You don't need to see for me. I still love it because I think the minutia of it is so ridiculous. Like, as a whole, it doesn't completely add up anymore, but there's so many ridiculous things. And the one I wanted to just highlight on the show this week is, you know me, I love charity. I really love people helping people. And I really do admire when rich people come together to help people. But I do this past week,
Homeless, not toothless.
Homeless, not toothless, you guys. I mean, come on, we can all agree. Amazing thought. And it's always amazing to do things for the less fortunate. But why would you, homeless, not toothless is such it's like so out of touch that you think it's like a comedy movie you're watching.
It's like, that's okay that they don't have a home, but God forbid to be toothless.
I mean, and then it's sad because there really is a homeless issue in Los Angeles. And I keep now I'm like looking for homeless people with amazing teeth because I'm going to be like, homeless, not toothless. Did Dorit find you? Like, and by the way, Dorit did not come up with a name. This charity has been there forever. And also the story she told you guys is she's like, Sharon Stone came knocking at my door, I'm like, Sharon Stone lives in your neighborhood and she's just knocking on random doors and like, you should do homeless, not toothless. Wild.
And Melissa Etheridge.
Dude, I wanted Melissa Etheridge to fucking like lay down, like just like hook up with every girl there. Like, wouldn't that be amazing? Because you know she's a player. You know she has game. Melissa Etheridge definitely has game.
For sure. I could see her and Erica actually.
Oh, well, you know, Erica gets a lot of dick, according to Erica. So I don't know if that's her thing.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And also, what is Kyle? Anytime Kyle, there's any musical person from the 80s, 90s, or early aughts, Kyle's like, no way. Are you kidding me? Like, there's not one that she's ever been not impressed with.
She was like, Boy George?
That's what I mean, Boy George. I love Boy George, but Kyle's like, Kyle, you're like a multimillionaire at this point. And she's like, no, Melissa Etheridge. She said it like, Melissa Etheridge. Oh, I got Melissa Etheridge. And Kathy... Kathy was like, who is that? Who the hell is that? And then Kathy even got in deeper after that.
Yeah.
Now, I had found this out from Twitter, and then I watch What Happens Live, and we talked about it, is that Kathy, there was a picture put up of Lizzo, and Crystal Kung Minkoff is right next to her going, you know this one, Kathy, you know this one. And she goes, Precious? Which, of course, is the actress Gabourey Sidibe from the movie Precious. And it's a really horror. And Andy was like delighted. Like I people really was like, they were like, Kathy should be fired for this, all this stuff. But I almost kind of think like, well, what did you think? You know, the writers behind Watch What Happens Live, they had to have imagined, like the whole bit of the joke is that Kathy sucks at remembering people.
Right.
Like I feel it's like a real trap of a game to begin with. And Kathy should have been smart enough to be like, I just don't know it. I don't think she said it maliciously, but that doesn't matter. I also want to point out, I'm not looking to Kathy for any fucking thing and how to like view people in this world. I'm sure she is wrong in so many things, but I also kind of think like they almost wanted something like that to happen.
Right. It's like, what did they expect, honestly? And she did say that she, she blamed it on her eyesight. We also know that she thought Garcelle was Kyle at one point last season. So, like, I don't know. I definitely don't think it was like malicious, but I can understand why, some people are kind of outraged by it.
How could you not be? Like, even as like somebody that's like, I've fluctuated in weight my whole life. Like, I even just think if I was Lizzo and I had saw somebody like that would have like broke me. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you are in your life. Like, it fucking sucks that like how you view yourself, let alone how people view you. I mean, that really does just even hurt from that standpoint. And Kathy, I don't know. Like, I feel like I don't expect anything from Kathy. So I'm able to enjoy her in that kooky way. And that's what these shows to me are, like complete kookiness that sometimes have examples, but I don't look to these shows to teach me how to treat people in life.
Right. But the other thing is that Precious isn't even a real person.
Yeah, no, it's just the actress. And by the way, that's got to hurt the actress too. I mean,
like, yeah.
I did want to ask your opinion on this, you guys. Kevin Federline, thinking he was really doing something this week, released a bunch of videos that Britney Spears and his two sons recorded, I guess, secretly of Britney Spears, one in their bedroom and a couple in the car. And it was Britney kind of, yelling and laying down the law in a couple of ways. Did you listen or see any of these, Sophie?
Yeah. And it's like, yes, a mother disciplines her children. And everyone that I've, come across on the internet, I've come across a lot of anecdotes of people whose children went to school with Britney's kids, and she was always super involved. And that's like not something you would expect, honestly. If your mom is a very, very, very one of the most famous people in the world, like she was like going to PTO meetings and like PTA. Yeah,
PTA. She was getting PTO. She was getting time off for these meetings.
But yeah, I mean, she's an involved mother. I don't think, it definitely backfired on him. It's like, yes, a mother is disciplining her son sometimes.
Yeah, cat's out of the bag. I mean,
yeah.
And listen, but I was even saying that, like, my mom is like such an angel, but at the same time, I listened to that and I was like, dude, my mom has gone harder on me. Like when I've been a smart ass or something when I was younger, like she has gone harder on me than those videos with Britney. So I just didn't really understand. I was like, I don't want to chalk up to Kevin. Like we all like Kevin Federline's a douche, but maybe he's just doesn't have a lot of brain power in there thinking that was actually something. Like kids do need to be taught and I know they're already kind of fucked up because their mom's Britney Spears and all of that. And yeah, I would be embarrassed too if my mom was like jumping around naked on Instagram, but that's what a lot of people do on Instagram, regardless of their celebrity,
Yeah. And also, of course, Kevin Federline, like we know what his intentions are. He has been living off of her conservatorship money for the past decade plus, him and his current wife. So it's like, yeah, of course he's pissed that the conservatorship is ending. He wants that money still. Now he has to get a job. Like, fuck you, Kevin Federline, deadbeat.
Well, and you probably, this is before your time, but there used to be a show on VH1 called Celebrity Fit Club. And I watched it every Sunday, loved it. And it was a reality show like where these kind of C-level celebrities went on this program to lose weight. And that's when you knew K-Fed was really desperate for money because he went on Celebrity Fit Club because he was out of shape and stuff. And he followed the program. He actually lost weight. But I posted a photo after this because I was like, fuck you, K-Fed. Like, remember when you did this? And I remember, one girl was saying I was being like fat phobic or something like that. I was like, no, my whole point is, first off, I joke about everything. I even joke about myself and my weight. But at the same time, this is a man who did that, which is quote unquote, potentially embarrassing. First off, to do any reality show, let alone a contest to lose weight. But this is the man that did that for money. You don't think he's going to continually do kind of weird things for money. There is plenty of evidence. And that was kind of my point in posting that, of like, dude, this fucker does not, it's like Tristan Thompson in a way of like, you're not going to embarrass K-Fed because he lives in embarrassment. He is embarrassment. Just like Machine Gun Kelly's weed. He is weed. He is embarrassment.
Oh my God. I don't know where. No, this may have been like a joke. Someone was trying to manifest Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox breaking up, but I don't think
but we talked about that because you guessed it correctly. And I thought I had heard Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox were going to announce a breakup.
I think it probably will be over soon for them, but we'll see.
Who will they get to drink each other's blood under the banyan tree?
How is she going to get the ring off? Didn't he design the ring so that if she takes it off, it slices her finger?
Oh my God, Sophie, I forgot completely about that. You're right.
How is she going to get it off?
What if she loses a finger? Maybe that's the thing that's keeping her there, is she needs like all 10 of her phalanges.
Yeah. Yep.
This is just in terms of a woman coming to Tommy Lee from the band Motley Crue. And he's actually, I think he's married or engaged to that Brittany Ferlin, who was like a comedian on like YouTube or something like that.
Did they break up?
No, they're still together because he's doing a Motley Crue tour. And then this week he accidentally posted what looked like a very posed dick pic. And what was I don't know if you saw this or whatever, and I don't, but like,
I didn't see it, but I heard about it.
Like I saw it because Maritza likes to send me weird things like that. But she also said, hey, he has really skinny legs. This isn't that big of a deal because I have thick legs. So I think she was trying to like pump me up, but I almost felt sad about like the dick pic made me feel sad. Like he might not have gotten a lot of attention this week and he needed something like positive in his life. So he kind of accidentally lets a dick pic out there just to get people going. Yeah. Just to get people like, oh, look at that hog, bro. Like, like he needed that. Look.
Oh my God. Yeah. I don't know. But Tommy Lee, I mean, he definitely is blessed in that department. From what we know,
it could. Is it just the skinny legs? It might not be like the angle, all of that. I mean, but also as you get older, that power of the big dong goes away, I think.
Does it?
I'm going to say it does.
Are you saying like erectile dysfunction happens?
Well, let's throw that in there as well. Sure. But I'm just saying a lot of people don't want, I hate to be ageist, but if you're in your 60s and early 70s, the big dong doesn't have the power it once did in your 20s or your 30s, because, even though it's probably awesome for women or for guys to be with a big dong dude, you're like, but he's in his 70s. You know what I'm saying? Is that, I don't know. Am I thinking about this wrong?
I mean, maybe, but still, either way, it's, it's definitely never a bad thing.
I always love to find out what you and your dude and all that watched this weekend and this week. What did you guys dig into? Did you dig into anything this week or weekend?
We watched Prey, which
that's the Predator movie, right? On Hulu?
It's the Alien versus Predator like prequel, and I like don't care about those movies, but like, of course, like my boyfriend does. And I saw it and I was like, I was like, I don't care. I don't want to watch this shit. And then I saw everyone talking about it and that it got really good reviews. And I was like, fine. It was pretty good. I've been loving, I actually need to catch up on Thursday's episode, but I've been loving this season of American Horror Stories. So it's like the anthology, like American Horror Story, but like every episode is a different like little story by Ryan Murphy, and it's on Hulu. And then I can't remember if I ever told you guys that I finished it, but the documentary called The Rescue on Disney Plus about the Thai cave rescue, I had like started it. Yeah, I hadn't finished it when I told you guys about it. It was so good. I highly recommend. I was literally crying. And that's what I'm saying. Like, good documentaries are possible. And Netflix ones are so freaking long and boring and so drawn out. And this was just like one documentary movie about the Thai cave rescue. And it's so, if you guys don't remember what happened, it was back in 2018 when this team of like they were like 13, average age of like 13, 14, 15 Thai boys that were on a soccer team. They went into a cave like exploring, and then the cave completely flooded. It was kind of the start of monsoon season. They got stuck in the cave for weeks, and it was like this impossible rescue mission because it's miles, I think like a 3.5 hour journey through completely flooded tunnels. So there's no air, it's just water. And so they're like, how are we going to get these like boys out? They all got out. It was like this amazing rescue mission. They all survived. There were some divers that were killed in the process of rescuing them, which is a tragedy.
Wow. Wait, is this the one that Elon Musk was like called the guy a pedo in the
He was like, I'm gonna invent like a little miniature submarine that'll get them out. And that's not what happened. What did happen? I mean, it's not really a spoiler because it's like that's not
real life, yeah.
But it's real life. But they basically gave them anesthesia or put them to sleep so that they wouldn't be panicking while underwater, and they had the masks fixed to them while they were asleep and kind of carried them through while they were asleep, and then they would eventually wake up in the hospital out of the cave. Just it was like, it's such a crazy story. And I also really need to watch 13 Lives, which is the movie based on it with Viggo Mortensen and
yes
Carol.
Yeah, so, they just premiered that, and it's like, oh, Ron Howard directed that.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be amazing. So like I really, really, really want to watch that.
Do you ever like go there in your mind of like what you would do in those situations of like life and death? Like, do you ever do that? Like, what would you do in that situation?
Yes, and I don't like to think about it because it like freaks me out, but one of my favorite podcasters / YouTubers, Mr. Ballin, and he does true crime stories. And like, he's just such a great storyteller. He has a podcast. He also has a YouTube channel. And I've been watching the series of his that's like places that you shouldn't go, but people went anyway. And there are like tons of, stories that he tells. It's a long series. He has a bunch of videos. Each video has like 3 different separate stories. And so many of them involve cave diving, like underwater. Caves, and people getting like stuck, drowning, like whatever it is. I think that there's nothing more terrifying than the idea of being in a dark underwater cave. Like so many things go wrong. I just like hate it. And like also like stories of people like getting just stuck in, there was one story of this, man that worked at a factory I think it was Bumblebee tuna, and he ended up getting stuck in the oven with the tuna and was locked in there and was, cooked to death. Just thinking about like, I don't know, just the horrible places you can just one day you're like out enjoying life or just doing your job. And the next you're in, a dire situation and slowly dying. Very scary to think about. Very scary.
There have been a couple instances. Like I remember it was like 2 Augusts ago. It was like during pandemic. I remember the Taylor Swift album had just come out, the Folklore, and I was like hiking in Arizona because I was staying with my parents, and it was, Arizona is just so fucking hot, and I shouldn't have gone out anyways, and I have a really bad knee, and I remember I was listening to the fucking song with Bon Iver, and I was really enjoying it, and all of a sudden I just placed my foot wrong, and I just like I started falling down the hill and torqued my knee, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. And then my thought was like, oh my God, you're gonna die to a Taylor Swift song. And I was like, even though I was like, I really like this.
Anything wrong with that?
No, I don't, but nobody's gonna even know like what song did he die to. And I was like, this is like the Bon Iver one. It's like one of my favorite songs, but I was like, how crazy is this that I'm dying to and then I stopped and like I had to like drag myself because my knee had popped. Anywho's, but
I'm so glad you survived to tell the tale.
I think everybody's so I was trapped. I thought about, but do you ever, I always think about zombies though, like in a zombie attack.
Oh yeah, I would be like the first person to die / turn into a zombie. Like that. Yes! I always say that. I actually have thought about that a lot. Like yes. I think about it a lot, and I have conversations a lot. I'm like, how would you survive in a zombie? I always think about it because I'm so far from my family. And obviously your family is like, you would want to get to them as soon as possible during a zombie apocalypse. So I think about that. But I would be like the first person to turn into a zombie.
I think I would go into it like put your best foot forward. And then the minute I had to start running and like aerobically, I'm not like I can hike and like stamina, but if I had to take off in a sprint, I think I would realize pretty quick, like, let's just get it over with and get bitten. Like, unfortunately, like I'd love to say I'm going to fight. I'm just not that dude.
Yeah.
And it just bums me out.
Well, there are like the slow zombies and then like the freaky fast ones that like climb shit. Like I feel like I definitely would have a better chance with like the slow zombies, but yeah, definitely would not be outrunning a zombie anytime soon.
I also
But
trip so much. I mean, I know I would like then I would get cocky if I was able to escape one, and I would trip and fall and they would catch up to me again.
Yeah, no, I literally think about this all the time. I don't know if I would be patient zero because like that would have to come from somewhere. I don't know.
Oh, I'd be able to hide pretty good for a second at least.
I would surely, I know, I would like get it. I would turn into a zombie and then just be in my apartment forever. And then like no one would ever find me or know. And I was like actually containing the zombie disease the entire time, but like not intentionally. No, but like I would definitely be like, you know, the first person that is turned into one from a bite.
Yeah.
Because that's just me.
No, I think it's a lot of people. I mean, I just do wonder like the people that are like cocky, because I know there's people listening right now that be like, oh, I could totally like escape zombies. But the other thing about the zombies, because I used to watch Walking Dead until I realized like, oh, nothing's going to ever change. They're never going to be rid of the zombies. Is that like, how long do you want to keep going with it? You know what I'm saying? Like my whole passion is TV and stuff. And I'm like, so do I drag around like a VCR or like a DVD player that I can get to watch shit with? Like part of my joy in life is that. And that's part of the reason why I do get worried. I don't know if you ever think about the afterlife. I do get worried that like, if like, is there like cloud service in heaven? Are we still going to be able to watch? Like I have so much stuff I want to watch, and the afterlife would be such a perfect time to do it. Like, are we going to even, but then my mom was like, you're probably not going to even care. And then I'm like, it doesn't sound like it's me then. Like, then it's not me.
Wait, you know what's so funny? Jews actually don't believe in like heaven or hell or anything, but I have thought about the fact that, you know, when like Ruth Bader Ginsburg and like Kobe Bryant, like people will do those like drawings of like them like hanging out in heaven.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I were in heaven, and I think I've tweeted this before, I'm like, if I were there, like, I don't want to have small talk with you. I would just go up to my room and scroll on my phone for the rest of eternity, and I would be happy.
Well, I mean, that's what I said in the show. That Rinna's always like, thank you, Lois. That's Lois looking out for me. And I'm like, dude, if I'm in heaven, I can guarantee you that I will be doing my heaven shit. I will not be like trying to fucking like throw a bird Rinna's way just to show that I'm there. No offense. I do want to believe that we all exist in some form of energy or whatever. But you know what I'm saying? Like we're probably like, let people go have their amazing afterlives. Like they, you know, we're tethering them to the earth. Like they're like birds all of a sudden and all of these things like, oh, a bird always passes and that's Lois. I love the thought of it, but then you're just putting your poor mom to work in heaven all the time.
I know. I do. I mean, I like that. Sometimes weird things happen and people are like, it was my guardian angel. It was, you know, so-and-so and looking out for me. I think that's a comforting way of thinking.
Yeah. My mom says that all the time. Yeah.
Rinna is not benefiting from any of that because, you know.
By the way, if Lois is the bird, you got to shit on your daughter and snap her out of whatever the fuck she's doing lately. I did want to, you actually just spoke of Judaism, that kind of, I know you probably didn't watch this yet and you're probably behind a couple episodes, but I think you'd write a great article on Nathan Fielder's The Rehearsal.
Oh, I didn't watch Fridays, but I'm caught up on all of the episodes besides
You
Fridays.
have to watch, especially as a Jew, you have to watch Friday's episode. Oh my God. It is so fascinating because it's about, he tries to introduce, you know, she wants to do Christmas and all that because she's like uber Christian, you know, Christian, the Lord is the way. And he wants to start introducing Hanukkah and some Jewish traditions to their son. And it is so fascinating. I thought it was so good. And next week, you guys, if you're watching this, The Rehearsal on HBO Max is the season finale. It's going to only be 6 episodes. And I'm almost in my mind, there's one line I need you to fucking watch to get your take on. They're talking about favorite movies and Judaism and stuff like that. And she name drops a Mel Gibson movie, which is just so on the nose for like comedy in terms of how Mel Gibson's anti-Semitic and stuff like that. And I just need you to watch it. But my whole theory is that that Angela girl is definitely an actor, and that all of this is a rehearsal for Nathan. And I love that I'm like almost conceptualizing this like the show Lost, where it's so, I don't even know if it's
I
necessarily
know, maybe we'll
super
find out in the
funny.
finale, but she is like not real. Like,
There's no way.
I cannot
No
accept that
way.
she's real. Wait, did you watch Nathan For You?
Of course, every fucking episode twice. Like,
Yeah,
loved
so
it.
if you love the rehearsal and haven't watched Nathan For You, like you have to do that.
It's on HBO Max too, you guys, and it's
so good.
I was talking about that on the Patreon of just like how, I don't know how familiar you are with the comedian from the 70s, Andy Kaufman, who died. There was like a great movie, Man on the Moon, with Jim Carrey played him, but he kind of like, it's like, I don't know where in fact, I posted that photo of Nathan Fielder in the Nine Inch Nails shirt when he was younger, and he has a big smile. And I just wonder, how, what Nathan, like how much of a character that is, because you have to be really smart to do what he does, and he's committed so hard to it. But then you see that photo of him smiling in a Nine Inch Nails shirt as a kid, and I'm like, that's not the Nathan I know.
You're like, where did it all go wrong, Nathan?
No, not even, but I feel like he's completely playing with the audience, and I think it's such a fun thing to think about. And I just love, but I'm telling you, you've got to, the episode that I'm talking about is called Apocalypto. It's only 30 minutes, and you are going to freak out, and especially in regards to Judaism.
I have to catch up on the rest of the Southern Charm, the new episode, American Horror Stories from Thursday, and then the rehearsal from Friday, because I'm behind on my TV. But yes, amazing show.
Can I recommend a couple things to you and your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm not
Don't
very
say the
good.
Thor movie.
No, is it out on video yet, or Disney Plus? Because I do want to see that.
Morbius.
There's a movie with Jared Leto. He plays a vampire. No, this is like, I think, going to be up your alley, maybe even more than your boyfriend's, because I don't know how much he. And by the way, I still have a fucking Joe Burrow sweatshirt that I haven't sent you.
I need that for football season.
I have a fucking I've held on to a Joe Burrow sweatshirt.
I need it for football season.
I was just telling the Patreon how disorganized I am, that if you see my room besides my desk, it is just stacks. It's just so gross. Okay. Hard Knocks on HBO Max.
Yes.
It's a reality show about training camp for football. And you guys know.
I watched that. I already watched that.
I don't know sports at all, but I love Hard Knocks.
You know that
love it.
You know that it's Liev Schreiber who narrates.
Yeah, the narration.
Yeah.
He's like, this Sunday, that's the dream job, is to do that narration. But it follows the Detroit Lions this season, and I just love everything about it. Like, I'll never probably watch the games or the Detroit Lions, but I will watch every episode of this reality series. I love it.
Yeah, no, it's a great show. It's been going on for a while now. The Bengals actually were on 2 seasons in the past. They were on 2009 and 2013. It's a different team every year, and then you can't watch the old seasons. They like take them off of HBO. So can't watch the old seasons. I'm sure you can watch them somewhere, but not on HBO. And then they also just last year started doing in season, and it was fascinating. The team that they did in season last year was the Colts, and they had like a really great streak going. And then Carson Wentz, their quarterback, completely dropped the ball, like no pun intended. He just sucked, and then they got shut out of the playoffs when they like really were a shoo-in for the longest time.
Did they show that on the reality show, like the aftermath?
Oh yeah, they showed it, and it was like as depressing as you can imagine. And also, what was I gonna say about that? Oh yeah, so the Lions. I haven't watched the newest episode, but I watched the first episode, and I can't remember his name, but one of the players gave this like amazing like pep talk speech.
Yeah, like we didn't do good out there today, but we got it in us. I love shit like that.
He was like, when you're tired, that is when you have to work the hardest, because everyone else is tired too. And you know what? If you're a quitter, you'll quit when you're tired. But like the hardest working, most successful people, I always say that athletes are like so inspiring to me, because I can't think of anything I'd want to do less than like wake up at like 5 a.m. and put my body through hell like every single day. So like, I just think athletes are very inspiring. And also in the NFL, I feel like a lot of athletes come from like, not a lot. Like they come from very underprivileged backgrounds.
Well, and that's why I think they all sometimes get so screwed up, because they get these huge contracts then. And it's like, you go from like this standard of living to everything.
World. Yeah. Having the entire world at your fingertips. But yeah, I mean, and the ones that really do make it and, you know, live how to like, or learn how to live with money all of a sudden and are responsible with it. Yeah, it's just like the most inspiring thing in the world. I just like think athletes are so cool.
Well, it does give me an appreciation for it because I sometimes just get so bored watching games sometimes with my friends. But I always said, like, if they did, like, man, if you do an in-season thing, I'd be watching sports every weekend because I would watch that reality show and like I'm so obsessed with that format, you know?
They're doing that with the Arizona Cardinals in season. So the Cardinals, and they're gonna have some drama, I think, going on because their quarterback just signed this huge contract, Kyler Murray. And then in the contract, they were like, must independently study for 4 hours a week. And it's like the fact that you put that in the contract.
Must learn to read. Yeah.
And it came out that Kyler Murray in the past is like, I don't need to study film. Like, I know it all up here. And that he like loves video games. So they actually had to put in the contract. And it's like, why are you giving this guy you can't even count on to study a $200 million+ contract? I don't know. So it's going to be interesting. They also have DeAndre Hopkins, who is like one of the best wide receivers on the NFL. He actually, his mom is blind, and I always find his story very inspiring. So yeah, that'll be interesting.
See, that's why as the older I get, like the more, like you were talking about documentaries earlier, or even just reality shows in general, or these people's stories, is that I found myself like reading less and less fiction and only nonfiction, and watching less and less scripted television and more, because I think the actual reality of all of our lives is so much more fascinating. But when I was younger, it was all fiction because I hadn't lived anything. I didn't have any awareness of the outside world besides books. But now that you actually get to live a little and see how many wild, interesting stories that people actually have, those to me are the most fascinating things of all of our experiences, you know?
I completely agree. And I've always been more of like a nonfiction reader than fiction. But
yeah.
Oh, also Dan Campbell, the coach for the Lions, he was the one, he's like this big tough guy. And he was the one that in this
he was doing the exercises with them.
Yeah. And in like episode. His first like presser when he first got hired, he was like, you know, we're going to break their kneecaps and then we're going to drag them and then we're going to bring them by their necks. And everyone was like, oh, like, calm down. Everyone's like, who is this guy?
See, that's what like, I want, like, I would love a pep talk, like a football pep talk from like Tom Sandoval. I feel like he would do it. Like,
so funny.
We're the best. Come on, man. Let's do this.
He would get so passionate. He'd be like spitting. He'd be like, no excuses. Also the Lions,
and then he would be crying during it too. He'd be like, I know, we deserve it.
He'd be like, I love you guys. I love you guys. I want the best for you.
10 seasons. They say we're done. This season's going to be the best. You know it has to be.
I can literally picture it so well.
Yeah.
But the Lions were really, really, really bad last year. So that's also like, you know, part of the story is that they were really, really, and you have to be a bad team to end up on Hard Knocks. It's like one of the stipulations when they're figuring out a team. You had to have not made the playoffs the previous year and like all of these things. So that's like kind of the angle there is that, you know, they're really bad. And it's like, are they going to be good this year? Like, let's find out. Do they have what it takes? And Jared Goff, he played for the Rams and he went to a Super Bowl with them and then they traded him to the Lions. And it was kind of like an awkward trade because he like found out he was getting traded and they like didn't even like give him a heads up. They were like shipping him out from Southern California to freaking Detroit. So, anyway, yeah, that's Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks, but I do. I mean, and especially the women listening, if you have boyfriends I mean, it's a perfect show, maybe to even, and then they'll let you watch like a little Beverly Hills if you watch together, just something. Oh, also, this is another thing that I'm not really into the Royals. You guys, people have tried to explain to me all of it so many years now. I appreciate fandoms though, but I watched this new HBO Max documentary that came out this weekend called Princess, about Princess Diana. And it's all found. There's no talking heads, nothing. It's all footage told directly through found footage, like other people's videos, or like live news reports. So it goes through like Princess Diana and Charles. I'd really not known their story and how creepy it was. I didn't know Prince Charles was like 14 years older than Princess Diana, and they met when she was 16 for the first time.
Yeah, is that disgusting? Yeah.
And he was in love with Camilla Parker Bowles, who he's with now still, the whole time. And I didn't realize how big of a scandal this was. And the beginning of the documentary takes place with found footage of the night that Princess Diana and Dodi Fayed died. And like, it's like people passing up like, oh, what's going on over here? Something famous. Oh my God, Princess Diana. And then they go back to the very beginning. I also didn't realize Princess Diana was one of she was called the People's Princess because she would actually talk to the commoners and she would visit AIDS clinics and hug the patients before there was any kind of cure or treatment for AIDS. And I thought it was so, I really was captivated by her in this story and what a fucking dork Prince Charles was.
Yep, he really was a dork. And yeah, I mean, that was a big deal because there wasn't a lot known about AIDS at the time, and people really thought that like if you touch someone with AIDS you could get it. She was like going out and hugging them, and yeah, she really was the people's princess. She was.
And I didn't realize how jealous Charles was of her because she really inspired, like she got the approval rating up for the royals just by, you know, being Princess Diana. And Prince Charles got really upset because he's always played second best his entire life. He won't probably get the chance to be the king. His mom's still alive. He's always been second best, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I found it weirdly fascinating. I don't know if you guys checked it out, but maybe consider checking it out if you haven't. As we start winding down here, this is interesting. Do you know, this is before your time, maybe a little bit. I don't know if you're a little kid. Were you Michelle Branch fan?
Yes, I was. If I just breathe. That's Michelle Branch, right?
Well, it's like no, that I don't think that Michelle Branch is like, I mean, she had so many bops, but her famous songs are like Everywhere. What? No, Everywhere, All You Want.
Everywhere.
Yes, where to me.
When I close my eyes, it's you I see.
Her and Vanessa Carlton around that same time had like just perfect bops. But she was married, you guys, or still is, I guess, officially, to Patrick Carney, who is the drummer of the Detroit band, the Black Keys. And this is so weird. I'm kind of like so many different opinions on this. She got arrested for spousal abuse on, I think it was Thursday night, Friday morning, because she slapped Patrick Carney a couple of times because they had announced their divorce earlier that day. And in the announcement, she says how devastated she is about this divorce. And she had also tweeted that night before that my husband cheated on me and they have a newborn baby. And she was actually released early from jail because she had to breastfeed her baby. But my question is, I mean, in her statement, she says, I am totally devastated. After 3 years of marriage, the rug has been completely pulled from underneath me, and now I must figure out how to move forward. In her statement, with such small children, I ask for privacy and kindness. But if he fucking cheated and they have a 6-month baby, I think 2 smacks is pretty, you know, like should be expected. Or am I in the complete wrong? I know we should never lay hands on somebody, but he fucking cheated.
We don't know the story. Like, we don't know the story. So like, I don't know what to think at this point, but yeah, if he was cheating on his pregnant wife, yeah, that's bad. But I don't know. I don't know enough information to like really make a judgment. So yeah, I don't know what to think, but I'm wishing Michelle Branch the best. Truly.
I'm really interested in the actual, like, I was like, oh, this story is like kind of interesting that the female gets arrested. And it's like, you would think that Patrick wouldn't actually, I don't know how that stuff works. And I'm sure it'll come out this week, but man, that's just wild. And, you know, I mean, I guess people are like, it's like athletes. Well, he's a rock musician. He's on tour, but that's still no excuse. Like, if you want to be married, be married. If you don't. Rest in peace to Anne Heche. She is still on life. No, she is not on life support anymore. But they had waited to find, she was on life support until they found recipients for her organs, since she's an organ donor, and they were actually able to find recipients. So her organs are actually going to go to good homes and help save other people. But rest in peace to Anne Heche, who, you know, this is Sunday, so I think she'll pass away by this evening at the age of 53, but tragic.
I was reading that she actually is already dead.
See, I keep reading back and forth, Sophie. Like I kept reading dead, and then I read that she was still alive because they were trying to find organ recipients.
I actually got, I think,
like brain dead.
In Us Weekly breaking news. Yeah, I read that they were keeping her on life support, but she was brain dead. But I got an Us Weekly breaking news alert like the other day, being like, she's officially dead at 53. So I don't know. I don't know, but either way, yeah, she is, no horrible. Longer with us. And yeah, it's really sad. And I know a lot of people are, they've been really tough on her, understandably so, if she was driving under the influence.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people are like, if you don't know someone who's been killed by a drunk driver, it's like, I do know plenty of people that have been affected by drunk drivers. And yeah, it's heartbreaking. It's a bad decision. And thank God that no one else was hurt. At the same time, it's like, if you know her story and what she went through as a child and how Hollywood treated her, even, like, it's hard not to have empathy for her. It's sad all around.
I think you can definitely have empathy for her.
Oh yeah. No, it's like everything, because some people are like, I have no empathy. She made a stupid decision. It's like, it's just a really, really, really sad situation. And she seemed to have lived a really sad life,
tumultuous life
that, hopefully, I'm sure, had bright spots, but overall it's like she went through a lot. And yeah, it's really sad. It's sad.
Okay, two final things. Kylie celebrated her 25th birthday. Amazing. We're so proud of you, Kylie. You've done so much. What my question to you, though, is she posted a picture of her gift, which was a $355,000 purse. Did you see this?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting older and I'm thinking about things in a different way, or even just like Dorit's robbery. Like, if you got a $355,000 purse, amazing. But like, is the whole point of the purse so you can post the purse? Like, why are we posting these things that are like so ridiculously, like, at a certain point, maybe we shouldn't be, I don't know. Like, what's your thought on like bragging about such insane wealth? Like, as a birthday gift.
I think that's, and I'm a purse girl myself. I love fashion. I love, nice things. That's just a disgusting amount of money to spend on a freaking purse that it's dumb to me.
It's inconceivable.
Even if I did have that money, like, no, I'm not spending it on a purse. I'm sorry. It's like, it's a status symbol. It's, I can afford this, so I'm going to show it off. And, everyone,
you could buy six $50,000 purses for $355,000.
I think it's the dumbest thing. It's like, did you hear $25,000?
So it's Dana Wilkie, $25,000 sunglasses. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm getting old. Like, do we still care about, like, I don't know. At a certain point, it upsets my stomach. I'm like, ooh.
Well, especially, I mean, in the climate that we're in and have been in, I think since the pandemic, people have really, really, really had it with like the Kardashians and people showing off their wealth. And right now we're in, a freaking recession, near recession, if we aren't already, where people are barely surviving right now, barely getting by. The cost of living goes up like 300% over the past few years, and the wages stay the exact same. So yeah, I don't give a fuck about Kylie.
Yeah, like happy 25th. I got to watch this now. 26, 20. Like, you're so young. Yeah. I'm going to have to watch this bullshit for the rest of my life. And each, like, are we going to ever live to see the day where she just gets a gift card to somewhere, or just like a nice card? Like, oh, that was a really nice card.
Friday's gift card.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, that's the kind of shit I get. Okay. And then, any new news? You had broke the story through your psychic ability about Pete and Kim's breakup. Did you hear anything new this week? I was hearing that it definitely was Pete that did the breaking up, because he was upset about the being featured in the season 2 Kardashian trailer on Hulu. He was like, I didn't even really shoot that much, yet I'm featured as a story. Did you hear anything this week?
Yeah, so I read that. I also read that Kim broke up with him because he was immature. So it looks like both camps have like put out statements saying that they're the ones that did the dumping. And this is actually like a very common celebrity breakup tactic, because you never want to be seen as undesirable as a celebrity. So it's like, you always did the dumping. You never get dumped if you're a celebrity. I don't know what to believe. I don't think either side is probably heartbroken regardless, like I said. And I wrote about this also in my Substack that, like, it was kind of just okay, on to the next, person that's going to get us attention. I think that Pete loves the attention as much as she does. He got a lot of endorsements and stuff out of the relationship. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to believe, but I also just don't think that it really matters because I don't think either one of them is like heartbroken or anything.
Yeah, I gotta say, and this is weird for somebody that like talks pop culture all that, I didn't really think about it much this week. Like I was almost, there's more power in them being together where I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like almost kind of bucking the, like, oh, I can't believe they're still together. And now they're not. I'm like, oh, who cares? Like, I don't really even care in the sense, I mean, I care in the sense of pop culture, but it wasn't something pressing this week, or I wanted to find out tons more about it kind of, but I do want to know, is this going to be the season finale of season 2? Will they have the season finale be the birth of Chloe's son, Kim's breakup, and then some other bullshit, Courtney like fucking Travis, and that'll be the season finale. Courtney fucking Travis.
It's possible. It's possible.
I just keep thinking. So and then finally, Sophie, do you go into work now or do you still remote?
Yes, I go into the office 3 days a week.
Okay. Now I don't know. Have you ever been let go from a job ever?
Yeah, I have. I've been laid off before. It sucks.
I was laid off. I was laid off during COVID from a job that I had 13 years. It was just horrifying. And I like they'd let me go back in, even though it was remote, to pack up a box of things. And I'd packed up all my shit and I just put that box aside, and I'm actually moving. So I had to I finally opened up that box, you guys. And this is so embarrassing. I took my work's nuclear codes with me, the nuclear codes for my work. They were in that box. And I was like, feel like such an asshole. I've had it the whole time. And I did not mean to take, it's an acting studio, and I did not mean to take their nuclear codes, but I did. And now I feel such an idiot. Have you ever taken anything from accidentally?
No, because you actually can get in like huge trouble for that in corporate America. Really? Like if you download files right when you are leaving or whatever, and you download like classified files or company internal whatever documents, like they can see that and you get in trouble.
Could I get in trouble for this?
If there's not like a digital trail,
okay,
then you're probably fine. But I know I have heard of people who've, I know of one girl that got fired, and this was like a friend of a friend. And I heard the story like secondhand. She worked at a fashion company, got fired for some reason. I don't remember the details exactly. And she was like in charge of like the product list, like this whole document with all their upcoming products and all the details for it. And she went and wiped it all out, deleted everything, like scorched earth. And I think there was like legal, I haven't like heard anything about it recently, but I'm pretty sure that they were like, okay, we're suing her.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Good luck to any former presidents. And then finally, we'll talk more about this next week because I don't want to spring this on you, but somebody emailed us wanting us to cover this new TikTok thing. And I had not seen this TikTok video, so I can't tell if it really is truly. It's a new TikTok. And they're like, oh, you guys talked about soaking once, so you really should talk about this. It's called vabbing. VABBING.
Putting vagina on your, putting vagina juices on your,
Oh, so you do know. And it's like a pheromone, and it actually supposedly attracts people to you.
That's so sickening. No.
I put a little bit of my penis juice on my neck, and it has not done anything for me. So vabbing, I don't think works. Soaking definitely works, but vabbing, I think, Sophie, and maybe I'm going to go with saying it just seems like don't do that. Just use perfume or something, Nope. It's solid. Sophie, what do you got this week? What's going on? Anything that we need to pay attention to? You remember you can super follow, which is like the Uber follow on Twitter for extra content from Sophie. Also, her podcast, So True with Sophie Ross. First season is there. You can download all of it. You can listen to it on an airplane,
and we're
anywhere.
Starting again later this month.
Okay, so second season's coming. So catch up on the first season.
Yes.
And the Substack as well, which we talked about. There's always, because you went off on Becca Martinez from the Bachelor franchise too on that. What's her name?
Oh, in my Substack, how she like had her daughter carrying around a dead bird and put
it on social media.
Yeah, and she like didn't realize that dead birds like literally carry diseases, and like was like shocked to find out. Like it's so weird.
And then she proudly put it up on social media,
Yeah,
which is
so
great.
disgusting. So disgusting.
So you actually, the Substack really is cool, you guys, because I actually get to learn things that I had no idea of. And I'm just curious to see the faux ship between you and Nick Vile grow over. By the way, I will hope you get a book deal just talking about Nick Vile. That would be great.
Man. I hate that man.
Okay. But we love you guys. So have a great week, you guys. And I will talk to you on Tuesday. And Sophie will talk to you. Make sure you follow her because she tweets all week and all of that stuff. And so much Sophie content too, you guys.
Yes. Thanks for listening, guys. Love ya.